Alright, so I'm doing the alternate new student dialogue assignment. Um, so I did read Miss Tatum's article on the complexity of identity, and I thought it was very interesting. It presented, you know, how you view yourself in contrast to how other people view yourself. You know, it was interesting. I've never really read an article like that before. I didn't agree with some things she had to say. I did agree with a lot of things she did say though. Um, so first I'll go over what some of my own identities are. Um, I am white. Religious orientation would be Christian. I try to be as best I can. Um, ethnicity, I don't really understand the difference between ethnicity and race, but I'm white, Anglo-Saxon, I guess. Sexual orientation, I am straight. Gender, male. Age, 18. Ability, I'm pretty able, I'd say. I work out daily, 5 days a week. Socioeconomic status, personally, myself, I don't really have much money to my name just because I'm in college, poor college student. You know, I don't really have a job right now because, well, balancing studies and a job would be really difficult. But my family socioeconomic status would be middle class. Um, First language would be English, only language English. I hope to learn another one though, sometime in the future, maybe Spanish or um, something crazy like Chinese. But anyways, first language would be English. National origin America, USA. Um, the role they play, we'll go over that next. They don't really. I try not let my identities play a role in my life, even though I'm subconsciously I might, but I would like to think that consciously I don't let them play a role in my life at all. Um, I hang out like I have friends who are white, who are black. Um, I don't like just hang out with just white people, even though you'll find if you were to like observe my a day in the life, of Noah Kramer, you'd probably find out I talk to and um, you know, hang out with people who mostly are white, but that's just because the people on this campus are mostly white. The people in America, the majority of people in America are white. That's how it is. That's just. But I don't, I still have I have friends who are black and Hispanic and a couple Asian friends. So I don't let race or anything like that try and influence how I live my life. Like not even like I have friends who are atheists. Um, you know, I have friends whose first language wasn't English. It doesn't. I try not to let I don't try not to let my identities play a role in who I socialize with, and I try not to let them play a role in my life at all. I try and just live my life to my potential as best I can. The ones I think about a lot. I don't really think about them a lot either. I think about, I guess, I mean, I really don't think about my religious orientation. I think about a lot because, you know, increasingly it's become, I guess, less or more acceptable to not have any religious orientation, to just be atheist or agnostic. But I think about that a lot. I think about how my religious orientation stacks up against my peers. Um, I'd say that's really the only one. I never think about my race. I don't, I don't see people as white and black. I don't do that. I see people as, if I know somebody, I see them as their character. I don't see a white person walking down the street who I've met before. I see a certain individual who I've had experiences with and who, I can put a character to the face. Like I know this person, this is their character, this is how they are, this is how they act around me, this is how they, um, you know, like that's who they are. They're not a white person, they're not a black person. Um, yeah, so next I'll go over which of these identities that I mentioned earlier put me in the dominant category and which of them put me in the subordinate category, according to the article. Really, almost every identity I mentioned, I would say puts me in the dominant category, which I'm not like, I don't really care. But according to the article, it would put me in the dominant category. I'm white, Christian, straight, male, 18, young. Ability, I'd say I'm pretty able. Socioeconomic status, middle class, which is the norm. That's like, I'd say that's, you know, I mean, the dominant category for socioeconomic status, you could say, would be wealthy. So there, I'm subordinate. Socioeconomic status. First language, English, dominant, in this country at least. National origin, America, dominant. Um, why does it do that? So why do these identities put me in the dominant or subordinate group? Because I guess just the majority of people in this country have the same identities as me. So I guess we set the norm. As the article said, the dominant people or persons sets the norm, and the subordinates, they, try to live up to that norm, I guess you could say. So you mentioned that Tatum says, quote, "The truth is that the dominants do not really know what the experience of the subordinates is. In contrast, the subordinates are very well informed about the dominants." What does this statement mean to you? Well, I would disagree with this statement heartily. Maybe back in the 1900s, early 1900s, and earlier, this statement would mean, a lot more. But to me personally, I mean, the only reason that dominants wouldn't know about the experience of subordinates is if the dominants would not associate themselves with the subordinates, if the dominants wouldn't converse with the subordinates, if they would not hang out with the subordinates. But I hang out, like I said, I have black friends, Hispanic friends, Asian friends, friends who are chicks, guy friends, friends whose first language wasn't English, friends who weren't originally from America. I mean, so I know, like, we talk constantly. I mean, we hang out, we socialize, so I know about their experiences because I talk with them a lot about it. They know about my experience because, we talk, so we get on a personal level. If you're friends, you get on you're on a personal level with somebody. So you know about their experience of a black person or an Asian person. The only reason you wouldn't is if you just hung out with white males. So I don't agree with that statement at all, me personally. Do I see it playing out in my life? No. Because, like I said, I have friends across a vast array of people who are not white and male. I mean, so I know the experiences of other people who aren't white and male because I have friends who aren't. Simple as that. Second to last paragraph discusses the implications of this article. Tatum says, it's kind of confusing. Second to last paragraph. The last paragraph is very short. It's only 2 lines, 1 sentence. So she says that, so you can draw on if you're a subordinate, you can draw on your own experience of subordination. So, it will be easier for you to make meaning of another targeted group's experiences. So I agree with that. If you were targeted, I guess you could say, before, and you look at another group or individual who is also being targeted, you have empathy for them because you went through it too. That's an obvious statement. I agree with that. For those readers who are targeted by, quote, for those readers who are targeted by racism and are angered by the obliviousness of whites, it may be useful to attend to your experience of dominance, where you may find it, end quote. So, well, first of all, I'm going to point out, Tatum assumes that the only racists are whites. So, I mean, I've experienced reverse racism myself, and I've seen it go on. I've seen it, happen. from a first-person perspective. I've seen it. So I guess that in and of itself is kind of ignorant, I guess. But anyways, so if you're dominant in other aspects, but you're subordinate in one aspect, it will be better for you to focus on your dominant aspects. So if you're heterosexual, able-bodied, Christian, a man, but you're black, don't focus on the fact that you're black. Don't forget about that. Just focus on the fact that you're straight, you're able-bodied, and you're a Christian, and you're a man. I disagree with that. Just because if you don't accept yourself how you are, and you just focus on, the good things that society says are good, then what are you? You're just living. You're just living up to society standards. Society says that being a black person is bad, so I'm not going to focus on the fact that I'm black. I'm going to focus on the privileges that are granted to me because I'm straight, and society says that straight is a good thing. No, I disagree with that. You should accept yourself how you were born, and try to make the most out of your life, whether you're born black, white, gay, straight. I don't know. Identity is kind of stupid, I think. I don't think it should play as big of a role in our lives as it does, but, what can I do? Any additional thoughts or observations as I see fit? Well, I don't know. A lot of things that Tatum says I don't agree with. Like, let's see. Quote, though it is tempting to think that the need for such strategies disappeared with Jim Crow laws, their legacy lives on in the frequent and sometimes fatal harassment black men experience at the hands of white police officers. Like, what is this? So yeah, racism still exists even though Jim Crow laws, are not here. But Tatum got very specific with that statement, and I don't know. Yeah, I'm sure white police officers harass black men. I'm sure there's white police officers who do that, but he's generalizing the frequent harassment black men experience at the hands of white police officers. I don't know about that, but yeah. So there's my new student dialogue, and I hope you enjoyed it.